What's up? Welcome to my channel. I am Abiodun Adelu. I'm a relationship and a personal development coach. We started a series on keeping conversations alive, and this is the third video in that series. If you missed the first and the second videos, you can check the comment section for the links to check them. So far we've talked about 20 things that you need to talk about in a love relationship. And like I earlier mentioned, even if you're not in a love relationship, but there is somebody that you are considering and you feel like something can start from this relationship, you can begin to engage that person and start those kind of discussions. So we have looked at 20 things that you can discuss in a relationship that will make you to keep your conversation flowing, and it will also help you to know more about each other and how to be a great asset in each other's life. So we have 20 more, and in this video we'll be looking at the next 10. So what are the things that you need to talk about in a love relationship? Number 21 is cultural orientation. Now, culture is a very important thing that you need to talk about in your love relationship, especially if you are both from different cultures. Even if you are from the same culture, you may have different orientations and different perspectives to the same culture. But if you are especially from different culture, you need to talk about it. Yes, if any man be in Christ is a new creation, all things are passed away and all things have become new. But you need to realize that not every one of us is fully living in the reality of their scriptures. Many people still have cultural dominance, and cultural dominance can be in different levels. For some people, cultural dominance can almost be 100%. For some people, cultural dominance is so small that you won't even see the effect of culture on them again. But you need to be very sure of how much culture dominates the thoughts, the attitude, the behavior, and the decision making of your partner. So what is your cultural perspective about food, about religion, about schooling, about places, about respect, about various matters of life? Compare your culture and begin to see how to blend your perspective. Now, whenever you have cultural clash, in my culture this is what we believe. In your own culture you can kneel down for your husband. In my culture we don't kneel down. In your culture you shake. In my cultures we don't shake with an opposite sex. Whenever you have such cultural clash, resort to God's word. God's word is like your middle ground, and let God's word be the final say. Okay, you believe this, you believe that. What does God say about it? If you are still not able to solve it, then you can talk to somebody that you think is mature in the faith, or somebody that has a rich perspective when it comes to cultural diversity, and the person can help you on how to maintain a balance. But like I said, even if you are both from the same culture, you may still find out that what you hold in high esteem in one culture may be different. For someone, even if both of you are probably from the southwestern part of Nigeria, for example, there's some part of culture that you may hold in high esteem and your partner may not see it as a big deal. Don't assume that you are both on the same page because you are from the same culture. You must talk about it. What do you believe about this? What do you believe about that? And even if you don't consciously talk about it, you must make sure that you pay attention to how this person comments on various issues of life. If I were the one, I can never accept that. So when you hear things like that, it shows that is their cultural dominance speaking. Not everyone has their mind 100% renewed to the point where the cultural dominance is zero. But you need to talk about it and begin to see how you can blend yourself. Now, even if you have different culture and you have different language, if both of you eventually get married, which language will be the primary language of communication at home? Is it going to be your wife's language? Is it going to be your husband's language? Or both of you will maintain the official language, maybe like English language, for example, if you are in the English-speaking country like Nigeria? You need to talk about these things. You can't just assume that, okay, we'll be speaking in English or we'll be speaking in Yoruba, because you will raise children and you must establish the language that will be the primary language of communication. Yes, you may try to encourage each other to learn each other's language, but there will be a primary language of communication that both of you will have to agree on. What about dressing? What about many other things? And as a male, don't assume that, okay, if she's a female, automatically she will blend into my own culture. You must find out our cultural orientation and ensure that both of you are agreeing on these things. Number 22, talk about politics. Now, political discussions are discussions that we can't ignore, or we can't assume that this is not something that we need. It is getting obvious by the day that everybody needs to be interested in politics. Everybody needs to know what is happening in politics. So if your partner is politically apathetic, to be politically apathetic means that you are not concerned about politics. Find out why you're not interested in politics. The person may tell you that it's because politics is a dirty game. That shows that you are not on the same page when it comes to political orientation. You need to talk about your political orientation. You can ask questions like, do you think that believers can participate in politics? Do you think that I can participate in politics? Okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about political office holders? What are your perspective about politics? If there are trending political discussions, like currently in Nigeria, currently, as at when this video is being recorded, we are talking about the primaries, the primary election that will come before the main election. And a lot of people are beginning to talk about, okay, what are the options that we have, and how does all these things affect our decision making as a country? So I believe that people that are engaged can use this opportunity to have some political discussions and see how we can begin to blend our perspective together when it comes to political ideologies. Now, it may look like it doesn't matter that, okay, even if we don't agree on politics, well, then we'll make it a silent discussion in our home. What if one of you begins to aspire to take a political seat in the future, and then you will say no because I don't want anything that has to do with politics? Political discussions are not discussions you have to sweep away. Make sure you talk about it, even if one of you is politically apathetic. Encourage the person to read more about politics, and then you guys can talk about it together. Number 23, talk about your schedules, talk about your daily activities, talk about your to-dos. Okay, today I have this plan, I plan to meet this person, I plan to read this book, I plan to do that. Talk about the things that happen in your day. And when you come back in the evening also, you can discuss how your day went. Okay, I went to this person. In fact, it can be as funny as when you were in the bus. These are the things that happened. When you were waiting for the bus, these are the things that happened. Just talk about very funny things in your day. Talk about the funny moments in your day. Talk about the video you watched. Talk about different things that happened during the day. And you can discover that both of you can begin to have a lot of things to talk about, and you can look forward to hearing each other's gist. And by this way, you begin to blend together and your conversation is kept alive. Number 24, grow together. Sometimes you see one of the partners engaging in a lot of personal development. You are reading this book, you are taking this course, you are attending programs, you are doing a lot of conferences, you are attending trainings, but your partner is just there, just taking life easy and feels like, well, I can't put myself under pressure. Begin to encourage each other to grow together. So if you are reading a book, share with your partner. I read this book, I think you should read it too. If it is a soft copy book, like a PDF book, send it to each other and read and discuss about it. If you are taking a course, encourage your partner to also take that course too. And then you'll find out that both of you always have a lot of things to talk about. If one person is growing and the other person is not growing, it will affect your discussion, it will affect your home, it will affect your ideology, and it will affect you guys in many ways. So part of the things that you should spend time to talk about is, what are the things that you can begin to grow together in? What are the materials that you can consume together? What are the courses you can take together? And as you take those courses, discuss them together and see how both of you are growing. Number 25, talk about funny stuff. It's not every time you discuss something serious. So talk about embarrassing moments in your life, maybe in your childhood, maybe in your day. Talk about interesting stuff. Talk about a particular joke that you heard today. Talk about a particular short skit that you saw. You can even send it to each other. I saw this picture, it's a funny picture. Talk about those things, and then you can find out, you'll find out that you guys are blending together. I know some people are always looking serious with their partner, but you need to understand that life is interesting and you must enjoy life. You must enjoy life. So you must spend time to talk about funny things. Not every time you talk about, okay, today we want to talk about our wedding. Next tomorrow we want to talk about our goal. Then in the evening we'll talk about the end time, and then we'll talk about the spiritual implication of the second missionary of Paul. Not every time you talk about those things. Sometimes you need to talk about funny stuff. If your partner is always too serious, then you may need to talk about it. Doesn't mean that maybe jokes and comedies are sin. Jokes and comedies are not sin, but you must find out that the Bible calls some things idle talk. So just ensure that in your fun, in talking about embarrassing moment and funny gist, make sure that you don't tamper with holy things and spiritual things. All those people that make comedy out of the Bible, out of Jesus, leave those ones. Leave those ones. That's completely wrong. But there are a lot of funny things that you can talk about, and then you will not be crossing with spiritual things. Number 26, talk about your concerns. We all have concerns. And sometimes our concerns can be so deep that we don't really want to, we don't really feel, we don't feel good talking about them. We don't feel at ease talking about them. But if you both are serious about helping each other, and if you are serious about taking your relationship to marriage, then you need to begin to talk about your concerns. What are the things that are your concerns? What are the things that are your fear? What are the things that you worry about and you feel like, oh, I need to talk about these things? You may talk about it together, and then you may be able to overcome that fear or that worry. Or you may recommend a material for your partner on how to overcome that kind of fear. But you need to talk about your fears and your worries so that you can solve them together, and so that it can help you guys to blend together also. Number 27, talk about the things that you love about each other. Now, some people may not always like to talk about this, but you need to talk about the things you like about each other. Look at your partner and then tell the partner the things that you appreciate about the person. It could be something physical, it could be something intellectual, it could be a character trait, it could be a particular skill that the person has. It could be the person's level of boldness, the person's dress sense, the person's beauty, the person's hairdo. Just make sure that regularly you appreciate things about each other. It keeps your communication healthy, it keeps your relationship good, and it makes you to also warm up to each other and blend together. Regularly appreciate things about each other. And it's not just about the male doing to the female. The female should also do it to the males. Number 28, talk about the things that you wish your partner will improve upon. Notice that I started with the things you love about each other. Because if every time you are talking about the things that you don't like about your partner, then you will wear that relationship out. So make sure that you talk about the things that you love about your partner, and then as you talk about it, also mention the things that you want your partner to improve upon. But make sure that you don't talk about it in an argumentative atmosphere. If you talk about it in an argumentative atmosphere, most likely your partner will raise a defense against it. So make sure that you talk about it in a loving atmosphere, in a corrective way, in a loving way, and then make sure that you show that you show that genuine care. It's not just that you complain, oh, I don't like this about you, I don't like this about you. If you talk to your partner like that, it may make the person feel defensive, and then you will not like it. So talk about the things that you want your partner to work on. Notice I didn't say the things you hate, the things that you don't. So be careful how you use the word I hate this, I hate that. Rather, say things like, I think I would like you to improve upon this. Why don't you look at this matter? Don't you think that you need to improve upon this? Don't you think you need to improve upon that? Be careful how you use the word I hate. It's not really good in a relationship, especially when you are using it concerning your partner. Number 29, talk about random things. These ones are not planned, it's just spontaneous. So just talk about a lot of spontaneous things. It could be a funny moment, it could be random thing, it could be something you saw. It could be anything, it could be education, it could be any topic covered or any topic not covered already. Any random thing, just talk about random things. Sometimes random things can lead to a major topic, can lead to a major gist. So talk about random things too, intentionally. And then finally in this video, engage in healthy debates. Argue with facts. Talk about things that you don't agree on. Sometimes people try to avoid being argumentative. So even if they don't agree with it, they just say okay. Especially for the introverted people that don't like trouble, they just feel like instead of arguing about these things, let me just avoid this trouble altogether. It's not necessarily wrong to argue. It depends on how you are doing it. So once in a while, engage in healthy debates. It may not start by plan, but you may just find out that you don't agree concerning a particular topic, and instead of brushing it away and thinking that it will go away, sit down and talk about it. Or if you guys are away from each other, call each other one day and say, I think that we need to talk about this thing. Bring your fact, bring my fact. Healthy arguments are arguments based on fact. Not just raising your voice, shouting at each other. Don't do those ones. Don't shout at each other, don't raise your voice. Once it's getting to that point, you need to stop talking about that matter and go to something else, or stop that discussion, because that's wrong. But when both of you are calm, when your nerves are calm, then talk about those things that you don't agree about. Bring your facts too. Both of you bring your fact. Look at it from the perspective of the Bible. Look at it from the perspective of people that have written about it, people that have done videos about it. And you can also ask questions, or you can consult authorities. If it is a medical related questions, for example, you can ask a medical doctor for a perspective. If it is something that is emotional, you can ask an emotional intelligent coach. If it is something that has to do with family, you can ask a family coach or talk to a mature couple. So generally avoid shouting at each other and all those unnecessarily heated debates. But doesn't mean that you should still sweep them all together. You need to talk about it, but talk about it with wisdom, with love, and with concern for each other's perspective. And understand that the essence of healthy debate is not for you to win. If you are bent on winning, then that argument will be biased. The essence is to learn from each other and arrive at a middle ground or arrive at the right conclusion. So it doesn't matter who wins the discussion as long as the final conclusion is the right thing. I believe you've learned one or two things from this video. If you've truly done that, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not, and make sure you put on the notification button to get notified when I post the next video.